Morning, everybody. It's 5:22 a.m. here in Rochester, New York. I've turned off the live chat because I don't know if anybody besides perps are seeing this, and they're the only ones that comment on the chat. So they type in rude things and then they retract their chat. So I just turned it completely off. So they were going to fire me from my job yesterday after the owner told me he was going to handle it. He revealed himself. He's obviously involved. He didn't handle shit. So I'm like, no, you don't fire me. I quit. Because I didn't deserve to get fired. Like always. I was there. I showed up every day, dressed nicely, did my job, was nice to everybody. The customers loved me. You know, same shit, different day. We'll keep the bad employees, we'll get rid of the good ones, and call it a day. So good. Be in constant training mode. Not my problem. So now I'm looking for a new job, and they're messing with my Indeed account. So I have to work on that today. And I have to find a job immediately. Like I need to get hired today or tomorrow somewhere. So I have to get right on the ball on that. August rent is paid for. Part of September is paid for. June and July still are not paid for. It's very obvious to me that social services is involved in this criminal activity against me and refuses to help me with June and July. No matter what they say I need to qualify, and then I get it, then they say I need something else. And they've been giving me the runaround since June, since I've been trying to get out. So I'm going to have to work something out with my landlord on how I'm going to pay back June and July. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to have to work something out. But I do need to get a job immediately. These people want you in a constant state of fixing your life, which is what your life becomes. It becomes you're in a constant state of fixing your life. You don't even have a life. Okay, it's more like survival mode. And you're in a constant state of fixing it because they're in a constant state of fucking it up. It's really that simple. Your life is not really a life at all. It's a constant state of you trying to fix your life. Okay, so that's what your life becomes when you're a TI. The next job I get will be no different. They moved very quickly on this one. Didn't take them long. It might have been a setup right from the beginning to get me comfortable there, because when they knew they were going to get rid of me anyway. So that would not surprise me, knowing the things that these people pull. So I told myself I'll go in and I'll see what the owner does about it, because he said he was going to handle it and he was going to get to the bottom of it. Well, when I walked in and I said, "You're firing me today?" That was the first thing I said. And he said, "Probably." And I said, "Well," and I didn't even give him a chance to even try to give me any reasons because I ain't going to sit there and take the blame for something I didn't do. So I told him, "Well, then I quit. You don't have to bother firing me. I quit." And I also told him, you know, I could have called the cops yesterday when your employee was all over me, physically on me, and I didn't. I said, "I want you to remember that." Um, so I politely handed him my badge. I went and said goodbye to all my friends there, and I left. You know, what are you gonna do? If he wanted to keep me as an employee, then he would have done what I asked him to do. He would have coincided my work schedule with the professional people that work there instead of the gangstalkers that work there, which would have been very easy for them to do. But instead, he watched me walk out the door. So I got my answer, and I do believe that he was involved as well. Any caring owner that found out what I told him would have looked into what I told him and also would have tried to keep a good employee like myself after investing over a month of training into me. You know, he saw it for himself that my tablet was infiltrated daily. And his response was, "Technology doesn't like you." Well, I joked around back with him about that. Yeah, you're right. Technology doesn't like me. But now I know that he was just a part of it. So the way it works, people. I told myself before I went to work, how this owner handles this meeting is going to tell me everything I need to know. So, and it did. It did. So, I will get a job in the next couple days, whether it's one I want or not. If it's a job that I don't want, I will just stay there until I find one that I do. But I have to have a paycheck on hand. I've already given my landlord a series of post-dated checks to cover me for August, September, and October. And then by November, I plan on being caught up. But as far as June and July goes, I have no idea where that's coming from. I might have to give my landlord more than the amount he's charging for rent to catch up for June and July until I'm caught up. I don't know. I'm not going to screw with social services anymore and waste my time. It's very stressful going there. I already know that they're involved. They'll set up appointments for me and tell me to bring in certain paperwork. And then I'll get the paperwork I need and bring it in, and then they don't even want to look at it. Like, they already know they're going to deny me. So it's just so obvious. So I'm not even going to bother with that anymore. Why waste my time when they're not going to help me anyway? I literally had about 2 or 3 appointments trying to get them to pay June and July. And every time they said they needed something, I got it, went back to another appointment, didn't want to look at it, told me why. I've already gotten 2 letters in the mail stating why they're not going to help me. And they're both bullshit. I still have to take photos of those and post them so that you can see them. One of them contains figures about money that I'm making that I'm not making, that they just made up and put on paper. And another one is stating that my landlord didn't get a vendor number in time, which is bullshit. I got the application for him to apply for a vendor number. He told me that he did apply for a vendor number. He told me that he's been on the phone with them several times and they're denying that he never got a vendor number. I do believe that my landlord is involved in this. I always have, but I try to keep his name out of the mix because I need a place to live. So I'm not on here accusing my landlord of anything, but I do believe that he's involved. But I've been here 7 years, and if he doesn't work with me, then he's going to prove that he's involved. And, you know, he is working with me. But he better continue to work with me because I have no way of coming up with June and July that I missed. Okay. I have no way of doing it. And I'm not running to my handler that's trying to make me homeless and to try to borrow the money because this person already knows I need the money. My family's got a loud mouth like I do. There's no way in hell that she doesn't know that I need $860. She knows. Okay. She absolutely knows. The person that's in charge of her money knows. If those people cared about me, my landlord would already have his money. They don't care. Okay. My family, they don't care about me. All right. They just don't. I've loved them with all my heart and cared about each and every one of them my entire life, except for my handler. I never even liked her. But everybody else, I loved with all my heart and would never even think twice to do something like this to them. If I was able to help, I would. But they're not. So it's on me to handle this. You know, my handler is right now is living in an assisted living facility, trying to establish an alibi for herself because she never expected that I would figure any of this out. She's grasping at straws at this point. But that's exactly what's going on. Her brother and sister faked their deaths and are very much involved in this, in my targeting. And so now there's 3 people that are doing this to me that are not being looked at. Okay. My handler is not being looked at because she's in a home. Okay. My uncle is not being looked at because he's dead. My aunt is not being looked at because she's dead. Okay. These people know exactly what they're doing. But they think I don't know. And I know. I do know. What's up? Well, one of my siblings is handling my handler's money, and I'm not going to go crawling and begging for it. They know that I need it. I know that my family told them that I need it. And if they're going to withhold it from me and take the chance of me ending up under a bridge, then that's on them. I'm not going to go crawling and begging for something that they already know that I need, just so that they can tell me what a piece of shit I am and hang up the phone, because that's what's going to happen. Okay. That's what always happens. So I'm praying to God that $1,860 falls out of the sky into my lap so that I can finally pay June and July rent and be done with it. Okay. And now I'm back out looking for a job because they didn't waste any time making me lose this one. They didn't waste any time. Okay. I wasn't even there 2 months. Okay. So, uh, what are you going to do? You know, they do it to all of us. So I'm back on the job market. And again, I'll take whatever I can get until I get what I want, but I have to have a paycheck coming in. So if I don't care where it is, I will work wherever I need to for a couple of months while I'm looking for the job I really want. I don't care. If I don't get the job I really want, then I'll just work wherever I can until I do. So I don't get any further behind than I already am. But I'm not going to grovel and beg for money from a family member that already knows what I need and exactly how much when it's in their power to give it to me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let them live with their own guilt and shame for not giving it to me. And I'm not even asking for a handout. I was, asking for a loan that I would eventually pay back. So that makes it even worse. Okay. At no time in my life did I ever ask for a handout for rent. I always trusted in God I would get it, and I always got it. Okay. Whether it was from bingo or getting a job or whatever, I always came up with my rent. So this is the first time in my life that this has ever happened, and I do believe that God is going to help me with that. A couple of years ago, I had a credit card with a $7,000 credit limit on it. I would charge $500 a month on it and pay it off immediately every month. My credit score shot through the roof. My credit score was like 788. But they got right in there and they fucked that all up. I have no credit cards now. And my credit score is probably in the 500s, which I don't care. I'm never planning on getting a car payment or a house at this point. Anything that I own is just going to be tampered with. So, which is why I sold my car in the first place. It was constantly tampered with and vandalized. And when I was driving, they were constantly trying to get me into accidents. So that's why I'm taking the bus. My car was in working condition when I sold it. I put it on Facebook Marketplace that day, and they drove it out of the driveway the same day. I said, get it the fuck out of here. So after years of it being vandalized and years of them trying to cause car accidents with me, and then I went out there one day and they had made the driver's side door stuck shut. So I had to climb in through the passenger side, and I said, this is it. This is the last time they're ever going to do this. And I sold the car the same day. My handler also had my heat fixed in my car and a few other things. And then had my car rebroken the same night after it was fixed at the shop. And the only reason that she did it was to make herself look good to family members that she was helping out. But she had my car rebroken the same exact night. Okay. Yeah. That was another one of her attempts at making herself look good in the limelight when she's really an evil, cruel, wicked bitch. Okay. She made sure that certain family members knew about it so that she would look good in their sight. But that very night, the same exact thing that she paid to have fixed was rebroken. Okay. And I absolutely know that it was her. So all she's got to do is shout the orders and pay people to do whatever she wants done. That's how it works. The handler doesn't physically do anything. They pay the workers. The workers follow the orders. Since I've been in this apartment, next year will be 7 years that I've been here. My targeting's been worse than it's ever been in this place. They definitely want me out of here. They're trying to harass me out of this apartment. But I'm not going to allow that to happen. So, your bass outside, your music outside, your slamming of your doors, it's not going to make me move. You coming in and stealing my coffee, my clothes, tampering with things, it's not going to make me move. It's not going to. All right. But they're going to keep doing what my handler tells them to do. But she reveals herself by the things that get done. I know that's how I know who it is. That and a lot of other reasons. But she has definitely revealed herself. Okay. Don't forget, I've known this person for almost 60 years, up close and personal. Okay, so I know how the brain ticks, and I know how it works. Okay. I know what's up. All right. Very jealous person. Very angry that I want nothing to do with her. But, thanks for confirming that I made the right decision about your character and walked away from you in 2013. Thank you for confirming that I made the correct decision. Okay. And that's back when I didn't even know what this was, but I still knew that she was involved. I knew. I should have known that my ex was involved, that I got involved with. I should have known that. But I was too busy listening to his words and not watching his actions. And that's my fault. But that was a huge learning experience and a lesson that I learned, and it will never happen again. Okay, so he's actually a wanted serial killer from the 1970s that they're still looking for, who is getting away with his crimes because he's a part of this network. Right. And every time they drive by my house now and they pull their bullshit with their sirens, their police sirens and their fire trucks, every time they do that, I put his picture on my Facebook page. Okay. So that's what I do now. So if you go to my Facebook page and you see pictures of the OCCK, the Oakland County Child Killer, that's because they just went by my house with sirens to harass me. That's my reminder to put his face out there. Okay. And it happens daily. You'll see that it's a daily thing that I'm putting his mug online. You'll see it. That was a fairly new decision that I made. I'm like, okay. Every time they go by and do that, that's when I'm putting his face up there. So when you get caught, buddy, you can thank your buddies. All right. And remember, my handler, they're not looking for you, but they are looking for him. And when they find him, they're going to find you. Okay? He's affiliated with you and the people that share my roof. Okay. So we take down the Oakland County child killer and they all go down like a pack of dominoes. All right, because they're all affiliated with each other. And then when they say, how did this person get away with these crimes for 48 years? Well, I'll be happy to tell you how he did that. Okay. Everybody, please say a prayer that I got a hold of the real sister that I contacted. They blocked all my communications to Michigan authorities. I tried having him investigated for 3 years. I thought that I was talking to Michigan authorities. I thought that I was talking to the detective on the case. I thought I was talking to someone on the tip line. But when I watched a documentary on the case, one of the sisters' names popped up on the screen, and I immediately contacted her. And she is a realtor in Michigan. And I contacted her on Messenger. Now, that may or may not have been a fake conversation I was having with a perp, or it may have been the real sister. And I'm praying that it was the real sister. And she told me that the tip line has never worked for this case, which would be understandable because the only reason this guy's not caught yet is because he is part of this network. And the network infiltrates your phone calls and everything. I even sent his DNA through the mail, but they've got perps in the post office. There's nothing these people can't infiltrate. They can infiltrate the U.S. mail system. Okay, so she told me the tip line has never worked, and I called the tip line several times and actually spoke to people who I thought were legitimate and that were looking into this. But I wasn't. I was talking to perps. Okay. And that's why I believe that I may have gotten a hold of the real sister, because she told me a few things on the phone that didn't sound perpish, like the tip line has never worked. If she was a perp, I don't think that she would have said that. I think they would have kept leading me to believe that I did get a hold of the tip line instead of saying that. So, and there were a few other things that she said that sounded very real. So I'm hoping that I did get a hold of the real sister, and I'm hoping this is being investigated. Okay, because in my case, at least, bringing down that wanted serial killer from the 70s would be the perfect scenario in my life, because my handler hired that man to pretend to be my boyfriend and pretend to be in love with me, so that when he finally did leave me, I would commit suicide. Everything this person does to me is an attempt to get me to commit suicide. Okay. And every time that I was kidnapped and mentally hygiene arrested and brought to fake mental facilities, it was always under the guise of I was suicidal, which I wasn't. I've only been suicidal twice in my life, and I will never be again. But that was always their excuse for picking me up and kidnapping me for 2 weeks to a month whenever they felt like it. And they did it about 7 times. And then the gang stalkers follow you in there, pretend like they're patients, and then you're on a vacation, like a little mini vacation, but the perps follow you in there and they pretend to be patients. So you're being gang stalked in the hospital too. Every time. Okay. Every time. So even he followed me in there one time, just like an old man. Yeah, I know that it was him. And he knew that I knew it. So, um, my handler is into a lot of bad things. She's into witchcraft. She's a white supremacist. She's a Nazi. She's a gang stalker. She's a handler. She's a serial killer. She's a lot of bad. She's everything bad. She's a pedophile. Um, and now she's an old woman and trying to get away with her crimes here on Earth and not be detected. And that's what she's doing now. But I'm still being gang stalked, so somebody's still calling the orders, which is where I believe the dead sister comes in. All right. So it's very obvious to me what is happening. Okay. Since I've been targeted for 40 years now, I think I know what I'm talking about, at least in my own life. All right. She put out the order to have my cat held. Uh, she's involved in me losing all my jobs, all my apartments, all my clothes, everything that's taken from me. She had all my hand towels taken from the kitchen, most of my bath towels. Um, they're constantly ruining my blankets, uh, especially the electric ones. Um, and she's having me watched 24 hours a day, and I am on remote neural monitoring. So, um, that head of hair she's got on her could have wires underneath it. It could be a wig made out of her own hair. She said that she donated her hair to Locks of Love. I don't believe that at all. There's no love in this woman, and there's no charity in her. So, I think she had a wig made out of her own hair, and I think there's wires underneath it. If I had to guess. If I had to guess, yeah. That's what's up. Um, with remote neural monitoring, they can see what you're seeing and hear what you're hearing and feel what you're feeling. I don't know exactly how it all works, but I know that I'm on it because they know what I'm thinking before I even get up and do it. They've proven it to me several times that I'm on that remote neural monitoring from what I do know about it. Okay. Um, there's not much that I can really say that you don't already know. I'm financially screwed, which I have been for 2 years now. They don't want me to catch up. They don't want me to be comfortable. They want me constantly worrying about every penny, which I am. Um, they are no, undoubtedly trying to make me homeless. There's no doubt about it. That's their goal right now. They did attempt to get me to kill myself this summer because a lot of bad things happened all at once that were obviously done by these people. That was an attempt for me to get me to take my life. Uh, but I recognized it for what it was, and I got in the Word of God, and the more things these people do to me, the stronger with Christ I become. So they're not doing themselves any favors, but they're doing me a hell of a lot. I can tell you that. I would not doubt for a second that this person was involved in the place that I just got hired and fired from within less than 2 months. Not at all. It would not surprise me at all. Been going on forever. So 6 a.m. in the morning here. They're already starting their vehicle shit in the front. Already. They're starting. It's a Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. here in Rochester, New York. Um, 2 or 3 days ago, it was all day nonstop. Sunday, it was all day nonstop on Sunday. You know, I'll buy one of these and use it twice, and then I'll open it back up, and there's only like 3 left at the bottom. Okay. They steal this shit all the time. My toilet paper, my tissues. Okay. They just take what they want out of here, and that's one of the ways that they make you penniless is by stealing your supplies. Okay. Almond oil is like $20. Okay. It's down to here. It should be up to here. But they'll come in and they'll squeeze out your stuff. Witch hazel, same thing. See how it's at the bottom? Okay. All your tubes of everything flattened and pushed to the front so that you only have a teaspoon left of whatever you own. All the time. If I was to go to the dollar store and buy another one of these today, by the end of the week, it would look exactly like this one. Okay. That's just daily shit that I go through with these people. My shampoos, my conditioners, my soaps, my kitchen cleaners, everything. Their new thing is messing with the dry cat food because they know that I can't replace it. They know I don't have money to replace it. That bag of food I bought should have lasted me at least a month. Every time I buy at least a month's worth every time. But no, they're in the cat food. So I'm gonna have to feed them probably tuna twice a day now and forego the dry kibble until I'm employed because they're gonna keep getting into the dry kibble and messing with it so that the cats can't eat it. So that's what I'm currently going through. Every day they are putting this brown stain shit inside the sole of my work shoes. And every day I have to clean it out with a Lysol wipe. I did a video on that the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but it's a daily thing. They'll come in and throw dirt on my table. Look at how filthy this is. You know how many times a day I wipe down this table where I'm sitting right here? I'm not making this table dirty like that. They're doing it. Okay. I know that they're invisible cloaking in my house. There's no doubt about that. Okay. I don't see a lot of people touching on that subject, but if somebody doesn't make a video about it soon, I will. I've asked other people to make video about it, and they're not. So I think it's very important that we touch on that subject because I think it's being used a lot more than people realize. They're actually making suits out of that fabric now. They don't have to walk around holding a cloak. Okay. Like I did mention, I am going to be ripping up the carpet in my apartment. The downstairs floors have already been done by the landlord. But I'm going to take care of, I'm going to rip all the carpet up off the stairs, in the hallway, and in the 2 bedrooms. So I'm bound to find their trapdoors. So they're going to want to close those up because I'm not moving. Okay. Like I've mentioned before, they don't need the doors and windows to get in here. All right. So, whenever there's an adjoining apartment, they don't need the doors and windows. They just need a trapdoor from one apartment to the other. And it's not the first time it's happened to me. I hope that you all say a prayer for me, that I find a job quickly, like today or tomorrow. I can't have a huge gap now in between jobs. I've already given my landlord post-dated checks for rent, so I have to get on that. You know, it's nothing new. This has always been my life. It's always going to be. You just have to deal with it. But you learn after a while what's going to work and what isn't for you based on what you're going through and what these people are putting you through. So it does become easier with time. It's just a constant annoyance. Because they don't ever leave. They're always there. These people next door still doing the same shit that they did the day I moved in. Still over there doing the same shit. Meanwhile, all the other neighbors have come and gone. Not these 2. Okay. No, they're still gonna, they got their story and they're sticking to it. Okay. And my handler thinks that these people are going to harass me out of here, and it's not going to happen. So not going to happen. And even if they do move out, a new purpose is going to move in, and I'm still not leaving. So I already know that. I believe the dead brother lives in the house next door to them. Okay. Wearing one of those silicone outfits as a disguise. Okay. I highly suspect that. Okay. There's a little white ranch house right next to my my neighbor's where I believe he's residing. Um, it is community stalking. It really is. There's the people that work in the gas station across the street are well aware of it. Anybody within my radius is aware that I'm being targeted and are in on it. So, you know, you have to get to a point of acceptance. You can't walk around, woe is me, you know. You can't. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. You got to become smart. These people are very predictable and repetitive. And after a while, you know which things to do and which things not to do. Okay, like the other night, they were really next door. They were really hoping I'd call the cops because they were playing reggae, Jamaican music, very loud. They could probably hear it on the street over. That's how loud it was. And they'll park their friends or their relatives will park their car on the lawn right in front of my door while they're doing it. And it's definitely an attempt to get me to call the cops, which I'm not going to do because when I do, they send a perp cop. They send a cop that's involved. Okay. Which they don't do anything about it because they're involved. Okay, so they just want you to think that you're calling the cops and that the cops are going to do something. And no, they send fake cops, people that are dressed like cops that do absolutely nothing about it. And then you end up looking like the bad guy. And if I complain to my landlord too many times, I end up looking like the bad guy. So, I've learned what to do and what not to do. Okay. And I know when I'm being provoked into doing something. It's very obvious that that was a provocation to get me to either go out there and say something to them directly or to call the police, which I'm not going to do, ever. I'm going to put up with their crap until they move out. Right? I'll put up with the slamming and the bass and the music and whatever else they're up to. Okay? I'll just deal with it. It doesn't matter where I live. The neighbors are going to be perps no matter where I live. I'm going to be harassed no matter where I live. The same things are going to go missing out of my apartment no matter where I live. And I'm not going to bother. I'm not moving. They are. Okay. I'm absolutely not leaving. And the landlord did say something to me rudely, stating if I, put a for sale sign out front and somebody buys the place and doubles the rent, then you're all going to be unhappy. Well, no, I'll just get a roommate and I'll charge them half of my rent and I'll stay right here anyway. So, no, putting a for sale sign out front and doubling the rent is not going to get me to move out. I'll just get a roommate. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time that it's not going to work. They definitely want me out of this area. There's a lot of criminal activity going on in this area, and they know that I'm aware of it. There could be human trafficking involved as well. I do know that they use the school parking lot for a lot of things. As I have shown you on previous videos from a couple years ago, I was out there live streaming, showing you how the cars were in and out of there all day long and all night long. And it's the school parking lot right down the street on Highland Cottage. Okay. The cops in this area are involved. The firemen in this area are involved. The EMTs. They've got the same Monroe ambulance vehicle with the same number that picks me up when they feel like kidnapping me. They haven't done it in years, and I hope they don't ever do it again because they have no reason to. I've already fixed that bullshit situation with the mental illness thing. I've already put a stop to that. And fire truck number 274 is involved. And I've got pictures of them from the other day when they were attempting to instill fear in me when I was on the bus on the way to work. The bus driver was told to pull into this one area where both the Monroe ambulance and fire truck 274 were parked. Okay. I took pictures. I can post those. Okay. That's the only reason that they were there, and it's the only reason that the bus driver pulled in there, because the bus driver was following orders. We want her to see these vehicles. We're trying to instill fear into her. We're trying to intimidate her that if she doesn't fall in line with what we want, that this is going to be her future. No, it isn't. And no, I won't. You got the wrong person. Okay. You might be a team of people out to get me and bring me down on purpose, but I know that now, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. Okay. You had your day with me when I didn't know what was going on. I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what. You had your time, but it's over. It's over now. It's over for you. Okay. You're not going to get the same reactions out of me that you used to get when I was clueless. And no, you might be calling the shots about how you fuck up my day, but I call the shots on how I react to it. Okay. And what I do with what you do. That's where my power lies. All right. And I know that. So, congratulations. You got me fired from another job, which I already knew was going to happen before I even stepped foot in the place on my first day. Okay. How you were going to do it, I didn't know. But I know now, don't I? Okay. I was in sales, so they were messing with my sales. Okay. They infiltrated my tablet immediately, my personal computer immediately. I was always on a separate schedule from everybody else on the panel, on the board. That's something I noticed. All of my sales were going onto someone else's tablet, which had to be fixed daily. And then they were spreading rumors about me that I walked around like I thought I was Queen Elizabeth and all of the other employees were my peasants, which is not true at all. I was very nice to my employees. And whenever they helped me, I thanked them up and down. And so they're so full of shit. Okay. And I told myself before I went in yesterday I'm like, if this guy lets me walk out the door, he's definitely in on it. And he did. He let me walk out the door. So I got my answer. Because he knew that I was a good employee. He knew. He let me walk anyway. After telling me that he was going to handle this and get to the bottom of it. Okay, no. So his behavior definitely outed him, revealed who he was. Um, and, that's that. So now I got to get another job. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing laundry and sitting here looking for jobs. And now they're trying to lock me out of my Indeed account so that I can't do that. All right. Any job I apply for, I'm going to have to go in and check in person. Because if I try to call about the job, they just redirect me to a fake call center, and then this is their new way of telling you that they didn't hire you. We decided to take another avenue. This is the lingo that they use now. This is their polite way of saying we hired someone else. All right. So any job that I apply for, I'm actually going to physically go in there and speak to the owner or manager in person to check on my application, because they sabotage you from getting a job if you try to call on the job too. Okay, you may or may not be speaking to the real employer when you call. I am going to keep my job close to my home because I do rely on the transit system here to get there, and I don't want it to take more than one bus to get to work. So if I want to continue taking the on-demand buses, one bus there, one bus home, it's going to have to be within 5 miles of where I live. So that's going to have to happen. Wherever I work is going to have to be within my vicinity. Not planning on buying another car. Don't have money for one anyway. I will never have a car payment because I don't want one. And especially knowing that they're going to tamper with my vehicle. I'm not going to go out and lease a vehicle that doesn't even belong to me so that it can get destroyed, and I'm not going to let them kill me in a car accident. So I'm not going to be getting another vehicle anytime soon. But I'm still being punished for selling it. Okay. She's real pissed off about that. Okay, she considers that a spiteful act, which it was. I sold my car out of spite. Okay. I said, okay, I just took one of your major toys away. I inconvenienced myself to inconvenience you. Yeah. And she knows all about that. So, what's her middle name? So, right now, they're screwing with my finances, like always. I really could use a money miracle from God. I don't even have money to go and try to play bingo to try to win the money. I usually have really good luck with bingo. And I have no doubt if I did go to bingo that God would probably bless me. But I don't even have money to do that. But this person does not want me catching up on my rent. They want me out on the street. And they definitely want me out of this apartment. Okay. Because this apartment is Gangstalking Central and was set up that way before I even moved in. All right. The neighbors that are over there, that they were set up before I even moved in. Okay. No matter where you live, your neighbors are going to be your gang stalkers. Okay. Doesn't matter where you live, which is why I won't move. Why should I bother? Just gonna go on in the next place. Why should I bother? I'm not gonna. I don't have no money to move anyway. I don't even have the money to go out and buy my cats a new bag of dry cat food right now. I'm forced to feed them tuna twice a day until I can buy another bag of cat food. But as soon as I do, they're going to do the same thing to it. So I'm not buying the $50 bag anymore for that reason. But the bag I am buying, I'm getting more food in it, and it's like $34, which is a lot cheaper. But they're getting into it. They're putting something in the bag of cat food and then shaking it so that all of the food gets coated with whatever they're putting in there. And then my cats will sniff it and won't eat it, and they'll walk by it and look at me like, why are you doing this to us? Literally, that's what I'm going through now. So if I have to open a can of tuna twice a day and feed them right in front of me, then I will do that to make sure that they eat. That's just another way that they inconvenience your life. You know, because my life was as simple as getting up, topping off the cat food dish with the container right next to the food dish and giving them fresh water every day and then doing their litter. Taking care of my animals only takes me about 15 minutes a day. Okay. But they had to get in there and fuck with that too. Alright. So now they're fucking with the cat food. And my employment, as always. I'm not bothering trying to get my Social Security disability back. Reason being, again, they infiltrate everything that comes through the mail and they infiltrate your phone. And when you think that you're talking to Social Security, you're really not. So I'm not going to play those games. I've been there and done that. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Okay. My lawyer that got me Social Security disability from Seeger and Shortino, Jason Pasalovich, who is still with the company, should be working on getting that back for me. It should have never been taken away in the first place. Okay, but trying to contact him is ridiculous. He's well aware of what's going on with me, and he could absolutely take care of this without my help. And isn't. Okay, because he's involved. That's right. I'm not afraid to say it either. I can tell who's involved and who isn't. So that's that. I'm right now reaching through my purse looking for something, which means a car is going to go by and make a noise any second. Yep. Whenever I'm reaching through my purse, especially my makeup case, they make the most noise. Okay. Especially in the morning when I'm getting ready for work and doing my makeup and my eyelashes and everything else. That's when all the noise starts. That's when the slamming starts. For some reason, she thinks that if she makes noise, she's going to wreck my cosmetic application or something. It's got to be it. It's the only thing it could be. I just deal with it and I go on with my day. But it's very predictable. The things that they do are very, very predictable. Okay, here comes a car right now. A loud one. If I can hear it in here, it's intentional. It's an intentional car. If I can hear it in here. Okay. Here's a black eyeliner that I just bought a couple days ago at the dollar store. Okay. The kind that you twist up. Okay. They've already come in here and lopped it off. Okay. 2 days ago, I bought this. It's already gone. Right. That's how they fuck with your finances. All right. I'm forced to buy all my cosmetics at the dollar store because they only last me a couple days. Okay. I can't go to the store and buy a $10 eyeliner that I love. No, I'm forced to buy the dollar store kind now. Okay. Because they absolutely are going to empty it and ruin it. You do have to make changes in your life that you have. You cannot waste any of your money because they're busy doing it. So if you want to find yourself on the street, keep being stupid and spending money on things they're going to steal anyway. I've learned to get a lot of things from the dollar store and learn to live without brands that I like. Because of their predictableness and their repetitiveness. Okay, so because they're like that, I've learned. It's humbled me, and I look at it as a good thing because God does want you humble, and these people are forcing me to be humble. So it's actually a gift from God. If you look at this targeting and what's happening to you as a gift rather than a curse, it absolutely is a gift from God. God is trying to get your attention, and he's trying to humble you down to the point where he wants you to be. Okay. That's what he's doing. God is trying to humble you. Okay. He doesn't want you to fill your house with spoil, and meaning excess. He doesn't want you filling your house with spoil. That's in the Bible. And every time I fill my house with spoil, okay, so for instance, they discontinued my favorite color of lipstick. Okay. So when they did that, I went out and bought enough that would probably last me about 5 years. They came in here and stole every single one. Okay. So you learn not to stock up on things. I can go out and buy 10 toothpastes, so I don't have to buy toothpaste for a long time. Nope. They'll take 9 tubes. They'll squeeze out half of the one that's left and leave me the rest. So you're just wasting your time and your money. And that's how they financially fuck you, is by stealing your supplies. Okay. So if you're a stocker and you're a TI and you're noticing every time you stock up on something, it disappears, you really should smarten up and stop doing that. Because they're not going to stop. They're just stealing your money from you. And it says in the Bible, do not fill your houses with spoil where thieves break in and steal. Okay. God already knew. That's why he told us this. That happened to me when I went to in this actual apartment. That happened to me when one of the times they kidnapped me and brought me to the mental hospital. I had just purchased like 10 body washes. It was like around COVID. I was stocking up on things because I thought we weren't going to be able to get to the store to get certain things. So I was stocking up on body wash and soap and toothpaste. And when I was in the hospital, someone had come in and taken all of my body washes, all of my toothpastes, everything I stocked up on while I was in the hospital. And that was my wake-up call not to do that anymore. So now I buy things as I need them now, which is inconvenient, which is what they wanted. Okay. The whole reason for stocking up in the first place is because I hate grocery shopping. So I would stock up on my normal items, so I wouldn't have to buy them every time I ran out. Toilet paper, tissues, whatever. I always had plenty of that shit in the house, but no. They change your life and the way you live it by the things that they do. So I can't do that anymore. Same thing with my lip gloss. I bought a ton of them, and they've stolen all of them. And then the few that I had left, they squeezed. It was a squeeze lip gloss. They squeezed out all the lip gloss, and then they sucked water into it. So when I went to put the lip gloss on, it would be water instead of lip gloss. That's the stuff they do. They put cat hair in my lipsticks. They smear my lipstick on my purse, and they've ruined every cosmetic bag I've ever had. I had a ton of them. I bought a ton of them from like Goodwill, all in perfect condition. A lot of them were Clinique, brand new. I mean, they get in there and they ruin everything you own, every purse, every cosmetic bag, everything. Your clothes, your coats, they've ruined a lot of shoes on me. Totally destroyed 2 pairs of winter boots that were in perfect condition on me. And, that's just the way it is, people. You can't control what other people do. You can only control the way that you react to it. That's all you can do. You can only control the way that you react to it. Okay. And the only people that can get these people out of your life is God. You can't do it yourself. Okay. God is the only one that can get these people out of your life. So pray for that. Until God gets them out of my life, I'm going to get fired from my jobs. I'm going to be in a constant state of trying to fix my life, like always. It's always been my life. Constant state of trying to fix your life. That's what your life becomes. Remember, people, I've been targeted for 40 years now. Okay, I'm speaking from experience. None of this is my opinion. I'm also very familiar with the Gangstalking handbook, and they do follow it to the letter. Okay? They do the same things to all of us. Everything that you try to do in your life is sabotaged. And they absolutely know what they're doing. Okay. It is being done intentional. It's to make you look poorly to everybody. Like, what's wrong with this person? Why can't they get their life together? Why can't they keep a job? It's to make you look bad. They're very into public humiliation. Okay, these people. Because don't forget that we're dealing with narcissists. And narcissists don't want to feel shame and guilt from what happened to them when they were children. Something happened to them when they were children that they don't want to deal with. So they're going to project those feelings onto you. Okay. So that they don't have to experience them. And that's what narcissists do. Okay. They're going to project their guilt and their shame onto you so that they don't have to experience their own. Because narcissists cannot self-reflect, nor do they want to. Because they know that they're ugly. They know that they're evil. They know that they're bad people. And they don't want to take a good hard look at themselves. Right? They just don't. They can't. It's too painful for them. And it's very, very entertaining for them to cause and watch pain in other people's lives. Okay. Your pain is their pleasure. Okay, they're very sick people. And we are talking about sociopaths and psychopaths here. Okay. Which is the highest on the spectrum of narcissism. Narcissism is a spectrum. It goes from the bottom to the top. Grandiose, overt, covert, malignant, sociopath, and psychopath. Okay. In that order. My handler is at the very top. She is a psychopath. Okay. That's the worst kind of person that you can be in this earth, is a psychopath with no empathy for anybody. People without empathy are very dangerous, and they do commit murder, and they don't have any remorse about it at all. They justify it in their own stupid little ways in their head that their actions were okay. That's exactly my handler is a psychopath. Okay. I wouldn't doubt it if there was a life insurance policy on me and that my death is being orchestrated as we speak. I have no doubt. Okay. This person knows that I know everything about her, and that makes me enemy number one. Okay. But I've already talked about everything she doesn't want me to talk about, so she would just honestly be wasting her time trying to get rid of me, because I've already outed the bullshit that she don't want out. Not all of it, but enough. So I do believe that she's planning on having me killed. I do. If anything happens to me, they'll make it look like an accident, but they didn't. All right, just letting you know. Don't forget, people, serial killers have families. They have husbands, wives, and children, and they blend right into society. Okay, you would never guess in a million years that this person is like that if you knew them. They put on a good act, and they've got my entire family fooled. Okay. Except for me. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, my ex that she hired, who's also a wanted serial killer, helped me figure out that it was her. Okay. I had my suspicions, but he confirmed it by certain things he did and said. So she actually screwed herself by hiring that man to come into my life. Instead of screwing me, she actually screwed herself. Okay, because I got a lot of knowledge from him. These two next door are obvious as hell. If anybody was investigating them or recording what goes on over there, you would know for an absolute fact that they're harassing me. It would be no doubt to you. Unfortunately, the slamming of the doors in the base is hard to pick up on the phone. There would actually have to be a secret audio camera placed over where they live to be able to hear it. Um, Again, I'm used to it. It's been going on since the day I moved in here. Uh, they're not planning on stopping or leaving anytime soon. Um, I have no doubts that this person, my handler, has got somebody picked out to pin this on when it's time for her to go down for her crimes. She's always got a scapegoat. There's always somebody she's got to blame it on. Always. And that's just who she is. And if I had to guess, it'd probably be the two next door that are going to go down for her. And then she's going to blame it on the government and say it was the government and that they're government agents just following orders. No, not in my case. It's not the government. Okay. It's not the government in my case. It's my family. Somebody in my family doing this. All right. This person wants me to die before she does because she doesn't want me talking bad about her after she's dead. I know that too. And she's also afraid I'm going to write a book about her. So she absolutely wants me to die before she does. She was hoping it was going to be a suicide. She ain't ever going to get that. Okay. If you ever hear that I committed suicide, it was because they set it up that way. Okay. I didn't do it. It's going to come to the point where she's just going to have to murder me if she wants to shut me up. That's the only way to shut me up. I'm not going to shut up. While I'm living and breathing and she's having me harassed, I'm not going to shut up. Okay. Ever. This is what you turned my life into. So I'm going to document and I'm going to tell everybody what you're doing. And I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. Because I don't like what you're doing to me, but I got to put up with you, don't I? Oh, right back at you. So that's that. I have to deal with you and you have to deal with me. And on and on and on it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. So that's it. The sink games continue. The kitchen sink games continue. The cat food games continue. The theft and vandalism continues. They're maintaining the haircut they gave me because it's not growing in that area, so they're maintaining it. They are cutting my eyelashes very short. And they are still fucking with my eyebrows. None of that's ever gonna end. This person likes splitting up your sets. Sets are a big thing to her. So when that girl moved out of here, she told her, because they all follow orders, take the top sheet with you of my brand new sheet set, which she did. She took the top sheet. I have 2 pairs of sheets for my bed, which I don't even sleep in my bed, but I have 2 brand new pairs of sheets. And she told that girl to take the top sheet with her so that she could split up my sets. She's done it my whole life. Every sheet set I ever bought, she split them up. Every towel set I ever bought, she stole them. Sets are a big thing. When she was growing up, sets were a big thing. She still has that mindset. Uh, she thinks if those things are important to her, they're important to everyone. Well, yeah, I'm inconvenienced that you took my top sheet, but I can replace it. I can get one that will match it and get on with my life. You know, but she reveals herself that way. Also, I have 2 nightstands in my bedroom, and I had brand new silver plastic doilies underneath each lamp. And the girl took off with one of them. Who the fuck does that? Who takes one doily? Somebody that's being told by a handler to take one doily. Okay. When my ex moved out of here, he took exactly what my handler told him to take too. And if I had to guess what those things were going to be, I would have been right. And I was. Okay. I know how my handler thinks. I know she knows which things are important to me. And those are the things that she tells people to carry the fuck out of here. So they're all taking orders. I could tell the whole time I was with my boyfriend that it seemed like he was taking orders from somebody. I didn't know why. It seemed like that at the time, but I know now. Uh, but now I know he was taking orders, just like they all do. She doesn't slam the door over there unless she's told to. He doesn't play the bass over there unless he's told to. Okay, they follow orders. You remember that video I posted with the bus driver? Whatever the boss say. Okay. When he tried getting me kicked off the bus for no reason. Okay. I got a lot of mileage out of that. Whatever the boss say. Well, thanks for confirming that you have a boss and that you're following orders. And I know exactly who that is. Okay, so I say that all the time now. Whatever the boss say. So this is my life. They're in my home when I'm home. They're in my home when I leave. They're always in my home. Right, doing something. Okay. I have to accept that. There's nothing that I can do about that. But I can choose on how I react to it. Okay. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't stop them from stealing my coffee. I can't stop them from stealing my food. I can't stop them from stealing my towels or putting holes in my clothes or stealing my clothes. I have a lot of clothes missing that I know I didn't donate. So, when that girl was living here, she did laundry and she brought a ton of blankets downstairs, did laundry, and left one particular blanket down there, which was one of my favorites. And she did that because she was told to leave that blanket in the basement so that it could get destroyed. And it was destroyed. And I had to throw it away in the garbage last week. So that works. Right. People follow orders. I want you to bring that gray blanket into the basement and leave it there. So that's what she did. And they put several holes in it. There was no fixing that blanket. I had to throw it away. She knew that that blanket was important to me. They will go after everything you love, which is why Boo Boo is no longer with me, because she was my favorite cat out of the 5. That's why they went after her. Okay. Whatever you love the most, they will go after. Humans and animals and jobs. Anything. Objects. It doesn't matter. If you love it, you're not going to have it very long, or they're going to put a flaw in it. Okay. You are in a constant state of fixing your life when you're a target. They are in a constant state of fucking you up, and you don't have time for fun. You don't have time for hobbies. You don't have time for pleasures because you're in a constant state of fixing your life. And that's what your life becomes. That is your life. You're in a constant state of trying to fix your life. So you're always in survival mode. That becomes your life. Survival mode. All right. She even kind of screwed herself when I told her that they broke my door down on Lake Avenue and tased me in the shower. She slipped. She was like, they weren't supposed to do it like that. Yeah. You don't have to come out and tell me who you are. I already know that it's you. They weren't supposed to do it like that. Really? How are they supposed to do it? Tell me. I'm all ears. Oh, she's so stupid. And she walks around trying to make everyone believe that she's the most intelligent person on earth. It's so funny. I literally laugh at it every day. They weren't supposed to do it like that. Yeah, sometimes these people fuck up. That was a big one. My ex also helped me figure out who this was. Okay. Very much so, in very many different ways. Helped me figure out who my handler was. Okay. Through actions and words and things that he took before he moved out that only my handler could have known were important to me. Okay, so she knows I know. She knows. She already knows that I know who it is. And, I've been on the horn making videos for years now. And if any of my family or friends are watching these videos, they know exactly who I'm talking about. All right, so it's too late if you're trying to shut me up, honey. Because the important shit is already out there. Okay. I'll save the rest for court before you go to prison. And then I'll tell everybody everything. Because you know that I know everything. Which is why you're still here. Isn't it? Gotta keep an eye on that girl. God, honey, keep your eye on me. I'm used to it. 57 years now, I'm used to it. Your eyes all over me. Nothing new. Okay? Nothing new. Nothing new in the sun, honey. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out now because she knows I'm not leaving and she knows I'll get another job and I'll catch up with the landlord like I always do. And she's not going to get what she wants. She's not going to get suicide. She ain't going to get the homelessness. She ain't going to get any of that. Okay? She's not going to get it. The only thing she's doing at this point is keeping me from becoming successful at anything. By stealing and sabotaging everything. I'm used to not having family and friends now. She got rid of them a long time ago. Through rumors and things that they believe. I can't help what other people believe about me. They should know me well enough to know that I have better things to do than make up stories. But if they want to believe what they're told, then that's their problem. You know, I don't tell you. You know, your opinion of me is none of my business. Okay. So, whatever. So I could tell you that if I had a caring family, my landlord would already have his rent money. I could tell you that much. All right. I don't. If my family really cared about me, my landlord would not still be waiting for June and July rent. He would already have it in his hands. Okay. That's just a sad fact, people. Right. They can talk about how family is important all day long and how they're always going to be there for family, and we're Italian and that's what we do. And when it comes down to it, they're just all full of shit. Right. Right. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Right. I don't like having to speak that way, but I speak the truth, and my family is not helping me. Right. And they could, but they are choosing not to. Right. My millionaire handler family member would rather use the money to fill gas tanks to have me harassed 24 hours a day than allow me to borrow the money I need for my landlord. Right. And the person that is in charge of her money right now, that could help me, is already aware that I need it. So I'm not going to grovel and go running to this person when they already know I need it. I shouldn't have to. They have to live with themselves. I don't. So I'm going to end the video now. I'm trying to wake up here. I'm going to a clothing closet this afternoon. See what they got. And I'm going to be looking for a job. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to bother posting my Cash App link anymore. Nobody's helping me. You know, it just makes you look like a beggar. You know. If people wanted to help me, they would. Okay. Especially my family. If they wanted to help me, they would. And they're not. So. What you gonna do? It is what it is. All you can do is do the best that you can with whatever situation these people place you in. That's all that you can do. All right, so hang in there, and you're not alone. All of us TIs are going through the same crap. Different circumstances, but the same crap, nonetheless. And that's all you can do. Do your best with whatever you're handed with. Yeah. Anybody ever wants to talk, my phone number is listed on my page. All right.